Now that you've got your first presentation out of the way, and we've kind of worked through whatever technical challenges might exist, and you've had some experience using Zoom, I want to focus on where we're going to go from here and talk about what the priorities are and where we want to be focusing our energies. So, this is a short lesson on how to set your expectations and to plan your priorities as we go forward. So, I just want to go over 5 ideas to talk about things I've observed as I've taught this course over the last few years, and to give you some thoughts and ideas on what you should be spending the most of your time on, and what really is ultimately most important. So first of all, some students really worry about getting everything just right, everything perfect. There is no such thing, and that is not a worthy goal. I used to tell my employees when I ran businesses, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I also said sometimes just good enough is just good enough, and that's true here too. Do not worry about trying to aim at perfection, because what that does is it tends to cause you to do some things I'm going to talk about here in just a moment that really aren't helpful. What we want to do is make sure you're putting in the effort and you're doing the necessary research and content development and practice, and then just do your best. And you're not going to be perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. And aiming for perfection is actually going to get in your way. I've said this to students for years. I've given hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of public presentations in various settings to anywhere from 4 to 1,400 people. I've never done one perfectly. There is a YouTube video of me doing a TEDx talk about, I don't know, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And it's not perfect. It's good. It's pretty good. I'm happy with it. But the first 30 seconds or so, I kind of went a little blank, and it took me a while to get going. So, perfection is not the goal. Next, rehearsal is just so important. So, rehearsing, not just rehearsing in front of a mirror, but rehearsing using a camera. We're going to talk about a number of techniques, but among them is you'll see that I am looking into my camera, which creates the illusion of creating eye contact with you. What we tend to do is look at our screen where we can see what's written or the faces of the people we're meeting with, like this, which is okay. But what we want to do as often as we can is at least give the camera a look from time to time, again, to create that sense of eye contact. So these are the kinds of things that you learn during rehearsal, and you learn the timing. And then even when you rehearse the timing and you think you've got it down, as I've said, it's really important to have a timer where you can see it so you know where you stand. The rest of our presentations will be 5 to 7 minutes. And so you may have one where you've practiced it and got it down to 6 minutes and you're ready to go. When you speak live, I say this all the time tends to change speed. And what typically happens is you talk faster and you end up getting done sooner than you thought you would. And so it's just helpful to pace yourself by using a timer. This is really an important one. We are doing presentations, speeches. We're not reading a text. Now, can you have the full text in front of you and look down at it? Absolutely. A lot of great speakers, most great speakers, have a full text, but they know it well enough to where they're not just looking at the text and reading it. We all know what it's like to be in an audience where someone has written a speech and then does this and reads it da 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 da. And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. It's part of the reason that people do that is they're anxious and they want to get every word perfectly. That's not the objective. The objective is to get your message across, to convey the meaning, and to be human, and to really connect with your audience. And you cannot do that if you're just reading the words. The best score you can get if you write out your full speech and then read it without really presenting is going to be at 86%. That's a B. I would rather have you stumble around and make a few errors. I'm going to give you a higher grade if you do that, but still convey your message rather than just reading it word for word and really not conveying any sense of you or sense of yourself in the process. Fourth, we want to just make steady improvement. I'm going to be introducing techniques and ideas all the way through class, and so we'll raise the bar just a bit every time we do a new presentation. So I don't expect you to have it all put together for the second presentation. We're going to make steady progress, and we're going to work on different things as we go forward. Finally, and this is one that also sometimes trips up a lot of students, is this is a college oral presentation course on the foundations of oral communication. And part of that is getting the content right and doing appropriate research. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the Canvas lessons, and there is a lot of information in the textbook on this issue of doing the appropriate research. So make sure that you understand what I'm talking about and what the textbook is talking about when we talk about doing research, what the best research sources are, the difference between credible and scholarly, all those kinds of things that are part of the course as we go forward, and do that appropriate research. The bottom line here, we're going to take this a step at a time. We're not aiming for perfection. Put in the proper time to do the rehearsing and the research, and you're going to be great.